Now, countdown to shutdown. President Donald Trump calling Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer to a meeting at the White House as the threat of the first government shutdown since 2013 looms in Washington.
The Senate has just 5 hours to come up with a plan to keep the government open, but immigration remains a sticking point.
The question now is, who will blink first? Weijia Jiang has the latest now from Capitol Hill.
Mr. President, what are you doing to stop the shutdown?
President Trump ignored questions about a looming government shutdown Friday, though his actions were loud and clear. The president invited Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer to the White House, hoping to strike an 11th-hour deal.
We made some progress, but we still have a good number of disagreements.
The motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.
The Republican-led House passed a short-term bill late Thursday to keep the government open through February 16th, but Democrats are prepared to block it in the Senate.
The bill keeps the federal government open. It extends the state children's health insurance program. This vote should be a no-brainer.
But the measure does not include a fix for DACA, a program protecting young immigrants brought here illegally as children that President Trump is phasing out in March.
Shame on the majority party, the Republicans, for saying that's the best they can do.
The White House says the president is ready to sign the short-term bill should the Senate approve it. If it fails, both sides are ready to play the blame game.
This is purely an attempt by the Senate Democrats in order to try and get a shutdown that they think this president gets blamed for.
A Republican is in the White House. Please do not shut the government down.
Senator Schumer has floated the idea of a 4 or 5 day extension to buy time to negotiate. If Congress fails to find a solution, the shutdown will begin at midnight on the first anniversary of the president's term. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
CBS 4's Jim DeFede, host of Facing South Florida, joining us now with some analysis. You want to know why people hate the government and they're cynical about lawmakers? It's because of stuff like this. This is ridiculous.
One of the things that just hit me was when Chuck Schumer went over to the White House, they said these were good preliminary talks. Preliminary talks? Yeah. We only have a few hours before the shutdown, and these are preliminary talks? It's indicative of where we've become here in Washington now, and it goes beyond Donald Trump, but certainly Donald Trump added to the divisiveness. It used to be you just saw this in the House. Now you're seeing it in the Senate. Democrats and Republicans aren't used to working together on anything anymore, you know, and that's the sad thing, and that's why we're in the position we are now.
You know, this idea of who is to blame. Of course, you hear the Democrats saying that the Republicans are in control of everything. They're running the show. They've got the White House. They've got both houses of Congress. But the Democrats have to play ball as well. Nothing because of the way that things are written. The rules are that you need 60 votes in the Senate. So there have to be Democrats to go along with any kind of a plan. So really, like, everybody is at blame.
So knowing that you have to include Democrats in this process, why haven't there been those talks earlier? You can have a bill that only passes in the House with majority Republican or overwhelming Republican support, but you can't do that in the Senate. So where were those early negotiations? Now, you can make the case that Dick Durbin and Lindsey Graham tried to get there, but maybe they weren't the best representatives. They represented a different part of each of their constituencies. That you needed to include the Tom Cottons and the David Perdue's and the other more conservative anti-immigrant voices within the Senate and bring them together. But those discussions just haven't taken place. And I think it's telling that Mitch McConnell, again yesterday, for the second day in a row, said, we don't know what to put together because the president hasn't made clear to us what he's willing to sign.
And he wasn't invited to the meeting today at the White House that the president called with the minority leader, Democrat Chuck Schumer from New York. A couple of New Yorkers in a room. Certainly they can get something accomplished.
They bring in some deli. They tried to talk.
Listen, absolutely. Sandwiches and let's make a deal.
Well, that was the whole thing of what is Trump's promise? Trump's promise is I'm the deal maker. I've been making deals all my life. I can make a better deal for the American people. And it seemed like up until just a few hours ago, he was pretty much vacant from this. If anything, he kept blowing up the deals by putting out misinformation or by changing his mind. One minute he's excited about the Durbin-Graham deal. Next minute he's opposed to it vehemently. And so I don't know where to go. I think, you know, to show how cynical things have gotten, we haven't talked about this yet, but the notion of the Republicans putting as an incentive or to embarrass really Democrats, chip funding for
low-income children.
For low-income children. So essentially you create a situation where you're pitting, you know, low-income American children versus 800,000 young people who were brought to this country illegally by their parents, and whose stories, I guarantee you, I talked to a young dreamer today for Facing South Florida on Sunday. Her story will break your heart. And we have to remember, so the folks at CHIP need help. The dreamers need some assistance here. We need better security on the border. This is what they're paid to do. They need to come together and do something. I'm afraid Donald Trump, though, sometimes make it hard. But at the end of the day, it's on Congress.
Is there a political price to pay? We have midterm elections coming up later on this year. Will voters remember this debate and the disgust that they're feeling right now watching this when they head to the polls next November? So
there's two answers to that. There's short-term and long-term. The short-term, the calculation that both sides have made for 2018, particularly the Democrats, is that if they caved on this now, that it would damage them with their base. They're counting on the fact that Democrats are hyper excited, that you saw the races in Alabama, Virginia, state house races across the country. Democrats are winning big time. And so that energy from the base is important. Caving in, they believe, to Donald Trump or the more extremist elements would undermine that. The Republicans play the same thing. What's trickier is, will this play out in 2020? Will the politics of this hurt any of the presidential candidates for the Republican and Democratic side? We'll see.
All right, Jim DeFede, Facing South Florida this weekend. Jim, thanks very much.